Okay, so let's look at question number 19. It says a geometric sequence, geometric is your keyword, with a common ratio of -3. Here, when we have geometric sequences, we are going to multiply the previous number times the given ratio. So they said everything is being multiplied times a -3. Let's check number one. -10 times -3 is -30. Therefore, that's not correct. Number two, 14 times -3. Oop, I already see that's not going to work because that's going to end up giving me, what is that? 30, 42. Goodness, my mind. That's not going to work. Number three is going to be -2 times -3, which is a +6. So don't get tripped up because the next number is a -6 and I need it to be a +6. That's not going to work. Need to check the last one to be sure. -3 times 4 is -12. -3 times -12 is +36. So that looks like that's going to work. Your answer for number 19 would then be choice number 4. So just remember that geometric means that we are going to multiply the previous term by the given ratio to get the next term, okay? Another way you could have looked at this was to say, okay, what's going on? How did I get from here to here? Well, they added 3. How did I get from here to here? They subtracted 3. How did I get from here to here? And then from here to here, I'm thinking this is 6 divided by 2. That's going to give me +3. 18 divided by 6. They're multiplying times 3. And then how did I get from here to here? They are multiplying times a -3. So just different ways to look at it. If you're not exactly sure, you can try to find where, what the sequence is doing. Or you can just, if you know the rule, you can go ahead and apply it. Next one. All right, for number 20, it says when the equation 6 minus 8x equals ax minus 2 is solved for x in terms of a and a does not equal 0, what's the result? Remember, what does it mean that we solve for x? Okay, what does that mean? We're going to isolate x. We're looking for x is equal to something, 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 something. In terms of a just means that the a is going to stay there. We don't have a number to substitute in for it or anything like that. So all we're doing is solving this equation for x, meaning that we're getting x alone on the equation, on one side of the equation by itself. Let's go ahead and set up and see if we can do that. So we have 6 minus ax is equal to ax minus 2. You want to get all your like terms on the same side, right? So I'm going to go ahead and make this positive and move it to the right side. This goes away. I'm left with 6 is equal to 2ax minus 2. Go ahead and move your 2 over here. This is going to give me 8 is equal to ax. I want to get x by itself, so I need to separate. All these things are being multiplied, which means I'm going to divide both sides by 2a. This goes away, and then x is equal to, the a does not go away at the denominator, but it does reduce down. These two numbers reduce down, okay? So that's going to be 4 at the top and an a at the bottom. So to be 4 over a is equal to x, which is answer choice, answer choice number 2. All right, let's look at question number 22. It says the expression 5 to the power of a plus 2b is equivalent to what? So I'm just going to have to use, my exponent rule. You're looking at something that has exponents. You say, what do I do to figure out if these are equal? I'm going to go ahead and apply my exponent rules, okay? I need to make one of these look like this right here. So let's just go step by step and do each one of them. 5a times 5 squared times 5b. What happens when the base is the same? What do you do with the exponents? You add them. Okay, if we're multiplying and the base is the same, I'm actually going to write the answer down here. I have 5a plus 2 plus b. So that doesn't work. Number 2 is 5a times 25b. Now, there's something that you can do to this to rewrite it and have the same base as the first one, okay? I can make this have a base as 5 and see if I can bring those together. What will that look like? 5a times, how can I rewrite this to have a base of 5? Well, I'm going to raise it to the power of 2 because 5 squared is 25. It's an equivalent expression, and I can do that. Once I raise it to the power of 2, I have to remember that that b is still up there, and I wrote that wrong. That's supposed to be up there, sorry. Now, same thing, when the bases are the same and I'm multiplying, what do I do with the exponents? I add them. 5a plus 2b, 5a plus 2b, okay? Same, now here, even if I rewrote that as 25 squared ab, there's nothing being added. I can rewrite that with a base of 5, but it'll just be 2 times 2ab, which would be 4ab, and that's not what I want. And then for the last one, same thing. I can rewrite that with a base of 5, but it's just going to give me a factor of 2 where I'm going to end up having to distribute and multiply that, and it won't be the same. All right, so this one is talking about unit conversions. It says that the volume of his pool is 3,240 cubic feet. There's 7.5 gallons in 1 cubic foot. So we need to write that down. So 7.5 gallons in 1 cubic foot, right? That's going to be our conversion. 7.5 gallons in 1 cubic foot. And then it says that the truck holds 6,000 gallons. So one truck is going to hold 6,000 gallons. And it's asking us to fill out how many trucks of water are we going to need. Me, personally, I would just kind of like figure this out by myself without using these. And then I'm going to go back and look at what makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So if I know I have 6.5 gallons in 1 cubic foot, that means that if I have 2 cubic feet, then I'm going to have 15 gallons. So that means I'm going to multiply all my cubic feet times 7.5 to see how many total I have. So I'll take 3240. I know I'm going to have to multiply that times 7.5 gallons. Now, once I get my number of gallons, how do I figure out how many trucks I need? Well, I'm going to take my total, and I'm going to take all the gallons I have, and then I'm going to have to divide that by 6,000. And that'll tell me how many trucks I'm going to need. Okay, so I take my total amount of gallons divided by my number of gallons per truck, and that'll help me know the number of trucks I'm going to need. Now, which one of those, because I don't have to, actually solve it out. Now, if you want to, you can, and then go through this and see which one matches. But which one matches my logic of what I just did? This one says I'm going to end up multiplying how many feet I have, and then it's going to end up looking like this where I'm dividing by 7.5, and that's not correct because I'm not going to divide to see how many cubic feet that I have or how many gallons I have. I need to multiply how many feet I have to times my gallons to see how many gallons I have. So that's not correct. Now, this one says same thing. I'm dividing my feet by my gallons. That's not what I want. I need to multiply. Now, number 3, I'm multiplying my feet times my gallons. Then I'm going to multiply it times my gallons again. Nope, that don't work. I take my feet, multiply them times my gallons, divide them by my gallons to give me how many trucks I need. All right, number 26, it says f of x is equal to 30x squared divided by x plus 2. Determine the value of f of 1/2. My function says this is my input, what is my output, essentially. So everywhere I see an x is going to be replaced by 1/2. So this will be 1/2 squared divided by 1/2 plus 2. How does my function operate when x is equal to 1/2? I'm just going to simplify now. 30 times 1/4, because remember 1/2 times 1/2, divided by 1/2 plus 2. I'm going to turn this into a fraction. So instead of it being 2, I'm going to put 4 over 2. So now 1/2 plus 4/2. What is that going to give me? 30 times 1/4, it'll be 30 over 4, divided by 1/2 plus 4/2, which is 5 over 2. Now I have a fraction divided by a fraction, and I'm going to write it as this. 30 over 4 divided by 5 over 2. How do we multiply fractions? 30 divided by 4 times 2 over 5. Keep change flip. That's going to give me 60 over 20. What's 60 divided by 20? 3. F of 1/2 is equal to 3, which means that when x is 1/2, y is 3. All right, factor 5, x to the power of 3 minus 80x completely. What are your steps for factoring? Factoring means to write it as a multiplication problem, so as a product. First thing you want to do is always look for your GCF. You have two terms unless it is a difference of squares. It's not a difference of perfect squares, so I'm going to try to factor out a GCF. These both have x squared in common, x in common, and they both have a factor of 5 in common. So I'm going to go ahead and take out 5x. That'll leave me with x squared minus 16, okay, because 5 times 16 is going to give me 80. I look and see if I can factor this more, and I can. Now this is a difference of two squares, which is great because that means I can factor it into, or excuse me, the sum and difference of two squares. 5x is going to be x plus 4 and x minus 4. Now you could have went through, looking at this and trying to determine, essentially it's x squared plus 0x minus 16, and you're looking for two factors of 16 that will give you a result of 0. And since this is negative 16, one of them has to be a negative number. And the only thing that'll give you a difference of 0 would be negative 4 and positive 4. And so you could have also did it that way as well. But unless you know your tricks and your rules about factoring, like I said, look at that 16, factor it, see what you can do, and this would be your final answer.